and welcome to Flagler Women's Lacrosse. The number 19 Saints host the number 9 Kutztown Golden Bears. The Golden Bears are 5-0 on the season. They have played 2 nationally ranked teams so far and will face 2 more nationally ranked teams during their 2-game road Florida swing. Good? Okay. Good evening and welcome to Flagler Women's Lacrosse. The number 19 / number 16 Saints host the number 9/number 2 Kutztown Golden Bears. This game is one of the best on the docket today in Women's Division II lacrosse. So when we talk about the rankings, the first number is the USA Lacrosse ranking, and all these come out on Mondays during the season, as many of you know. The second number is the ranking by the IWLCA. So along those lines, the other games, right now over at Florida Southern, they're hosting Gulf South Coast rival Huntsville, Alabama Huntsville. Actually, that's at 7. So maybe we can get a score update later on for you. Earlier today, number 1 Tampa beat UIndy, the team that the Saints host this Saturday at 7. The score there was 16-11. In other news, Lee lost to number 7/number 9 Embry-Riddle, 18-5, about an hour south of here. This is the first women's lacrosse game between these two schools. In fact, it's the first game for Flagler women's lacrosse against any member of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, or the PSAC. The PSAC is a collection of public universities. And let's learn a little bit more about that as we get ready for the opening draw. So for Flagler fans, so when you look at the national rankings later in this season, which is about a month or so away, you're looking at the standings and who's going to play who perhaps in the postseason. Any team that ends in Berg is likely in the PSAC. East Stroudsburg, Bloomsburg, Shippensburg, plus Millersville, Shepherd, and Westchester. And that's just the East Division. So here we are. We are ready to go. 6 o'clock straight up in St. Augustine for the Saints against the Golden Bears. Greta McGinnis at the mid-circle there for the Saints and for the Golden Bears. McGinnis controls it for the Saints. Flips it over to Ella Pender, another junior. The Saints are 3-4 on the season. Kutztown is undefeated at 5-0. They beat, at that time, number 17 Bentley. Bentley's in Massachusetts. And as Saints fans know, Flagler has played a gauntlet of top 10 rated teams already this season, which explains to a large degree that 3-4 record. They played Embry-Riddle, Florida Southern, St. Leo. Challenging games against those very solid teams. There's a nice inside little two-man game that results in a Kutztown ground ball, so we'll see them on offense. For the Golden Bears, you're going to hear a lot from Sandgraf, a senior midi. Not in this trip down, but she is leading their team with 27 points, 19 goals, 8 assists, 17 draw controls. Here comes Maddie Hartsock clearing the ball over to Caitlin Trainer, a familiar fixture in the transition game for the Saints. So Ava Lambros, number 77, was the conference freshman of the week based on her 4 goals just on Monday, earlier this week against Mount Olive. Congratulations to her. That was the second Saints player in a row to be freshman of the week. Back on March 4th, it was Izzy Campos, another freshman midi. As we've mentioned before, this is a very talented freshman class, the 4th year in the program. So this group of freshmen, when they are being recruited, saw the Saints make it to a couple NCAA tournaments and Gulf South Conference championships. That does not hurt the recruiting. So 10 seconds to go on this possession. Ball comes loose. We have a shooting space call Actually, it's a yellow card on number 2, Summer Davis. She leads their team with 12 falls coming into tonight's game. So that'll be a 2-minute breather for her. Here comes Ella Pender's free shot. She pulls out because they got a reset. You know, last time we talked about the Saints entering the Mount Olive game only shooting 31% of free shots. They went a whopping 9 of 12, 75% on Monday, so their season average now is in the mid-40s. Generally, in women's lacrosse, the free shots should be between 30 and 50%. Shot effort there. Stopped by the goalie. So here come the Golden Bears, a minute 20 to kill in that yellow card. We'll see what they do here. Looks like they're going for it. Jen Seebach playing some D. Kutztown in their 5 games have scored 16 goals 3 times, 17 goals 1 time, and I think about 8 or 10 in their other games. So they know to put points on the board. Nice defense there. Carly Lafieri comes with it. Eventually it ends up over there with Jen Seebach on the far side. It's a really nice evening here in St. Augustine. A little breezy. Sun is in full exposure. 10:30 here in the first quarter. Martha Helford up top with the ball. So the Kutztown player has been released there at full strength with 47 seconds on the shot clock. It is zeros here in the first. Looks like the Golden Bears are in a zone, playing zone. And the way you defeat a zone is a lot of cutting, a lot of passing, finding that opportunity. Ava Lambros, speaking of opportunities, will get a shot here. And count it, 1-0. Saints. Ava Lambros picks up where she left off last Monday. The freshman of the week. Right now it's a Thursday. She's going for 2 in a row maybe. It's 1-0 Saints. Ava is from Falston, Maryland. Falston High School, 5'4" freshman. So Barb Tucker, and that draw did not go high enough. So they'll do an alternate possession on that. The ball has to go above the player's shoulders, and they just do an alternate possession. So that one will go for, that counts a bouncer from a distance from number 8. Sam Graff, as we mentioned, you would hear from her. That is her 20th goal on the season. She came in, of course, with 19 to go with 8 assists, so 28 points for her. Sam also scoops up a few ground balls. 13 on the season, maybe a little bit more tonight already. We mentioned the 17 draw controls, which causes a fair amount of turnovers as well. So it is 1-1 at the 9:28 mark. I think the Saints might have been a little unsettled there in the transition. So that ball was flipped up and ultimately corralled by Carly Lafieri, the senior, number 19. One of the great veterans on this Saints team. That she got that ball from a player from Kutztown that has 27 draw controls already, Layla Elbouzawi. So well done, Carly. Carly Teeple down low. As you may recall from Monday, Coach Grant Killam believes that Carly Teeple is well positioned against zones. In fact, she had 6 goals last game. So we have another free position shot. What was a little unusual about the last game was there's 22 free position shots. Flagler made 9 of 12. Mount Olive made 5 of 10, but the normal number for free shots in a game is 10 free shots. And I know that because I asked ChatGPT earlier today. So it sounds about right, though. So that is a yellow card for number 8. That is her second, I believe. Nope, that's Sam Graff. That is her 7th foul on the season, as long as we're talking about stats. So another 2 minutes in the penalty box. A couple of yellow cards so far in the Golden Bears. The Saints will get a reset to 90 seconds. Plenty of time to work it around and find a high percentage shot. Might have had one too many passes there. I think we could have shot that ball. But then again, sometimes coach prefers the team to work a little bit more time off the clock to get the ideal opportunity. Sydney Anaga, nice quick stick that missed there. Flagler backed it up just right, did. The junior. Wow, Ella Pender from a distance. So, was that assisted, do we think? By Sydney Anaga, the senior. So the Saints are about, on the season, about 50% of their goals are assisted, which is a really, that's a good number. That means that they're getting some better shots. So that was exciting. The penalty now is wiped out. 2-1, thanks to Ella Pender from Sydney Anaga. Saints are kind of doing some signals on where they might want to throw this ball. Barb Tucker, the sophomore in, number 1. Ella Pender, I believe, on the that one had that for a moment, but Sam Graff, the player that just came out of a yellow card, it's got the ball, but throws it away, as it turns out. Jen Seabach with a ground ball, and Kutztown is swarming her. So Coach Kellum with one of those timely timeouts. when things were just getting a little frisky there on the sidelines on the clear. So they'll talk things over. It's 2-1. The time of possession tilting heavily towards the Saints on offense. You know, we'd like to tell you a little more about Kutztown. It's a learning moment. We have a little bit more than 2 hours here. We might as well learn something. So the Golden Bears, up from the mid-1930s until 1961, the Kutztown sports teams were known as the Golden Avalanche. Golden Avalanche. I don't know that part of Pennsylvania, if it's hilly, if there's a lot of skiing, I'm not sure. But they did go with Golden Bears 50-something years ago. It's a public university, as we mentioned, with 7,400 undergrad students, 31 of which are on the women's lacrosse team. Flagler has about 2,600 undergraduate students, a third of which are on the women's lacrosse team. That's not true. It just seems like at some time we have an army of talented student athletes over here on the Flagler bench. Why wouldn't you want to play sports at Flagler? The ancient city, the oldest city in the country, right by the ocean, highly ranked educational programs. Good place to be. So the Saints have the ball. 79 seconds. That's plenty of time to, first of all, get it across midfield. Eva Stein flicking back to Jen Seebach. They've played a lot of lacrosse together. The Saints normally clear the ball at a 91% clip, so count that as another one in the plus column. It's a shot wide by Jess Wright, backed up by freshman Anna Kempel. Six minutes to go in the first quarter. 2-1 Flagler over Kutztown. .20 seconds on the shot clock. Saints are throwing the ball around a little bit here. Ava Lambros will scoop that up, and they probably need to get into the fan, make something happen. Sydney Oniga does just that. They get a reset because it hit the goalie. So not a goal, but not the end of the world either. They have the ball again. You always have to think of your defensive teammates. They're getting a little breather, so they'll be raring to go now that the ball's been down here on the south side of the field for a while. Ella Pinder, easy to see when Ella is going to shoot the ball and go for it. There's not a lot of doubt. She does not shoot that free shot. And it results in a Carly Teeple goal. Carly LaFerriere with the assist. So, that's her second today, right? At the 5:01 mark, it's 3-1. It was Sydney Oniga with the assist, but Carly could have done it. We all know that, but it was actually Sydney Oniga, the senior from Bishop Hartley in Ohio, the Hartley Hawks. So it's 3-1. That might not seem like a big lead, but it's been a pretty good game. That's a nice margin at this phase of the first quarter. Again, the Saints have had the ball probably 75% of the time so far. Number 2, McGinnis scoops it up, and the ball is in the Flagler side of the equation, and here comes Keelan Trainer, number 11, seasoned veteran, smart player. So another successful clear, another successful draw control. I think the Saints might have 3-1 on those, possibly 4-1. So freshman Mia Cosentino's in. The ball is jostled loose from her. So that is a turnover for the Bears, and here they come. Just over 4 minutes to go now in the first quarter. So Kutztown on the attack. Defense is talking things through. Jen Seabach keeping the opposing player at a distance. That's a moving pick, I think, on the Bears. So that is a turnover, and the Saints have the ball. So Kutztown is not in this particular time, but they seem to be pressing a little bit more, which is unfortunately unusual more and more in the women's game ever since the green card situation has discouraged the ride. The ride was oftentimes a fun and exciting element of the game, but that's changed a little bit. Ava Lambros will not be denied. She was zigging and zagging. Her shot was wide ultimately. She got a few bumps along the way there, which is how it works. So just right attacking, and she was hit to the ground. A little puzzled as to why there was no call. So the Mount Olive team was a very physical team. So Flagler is used to that. It's not unusual for the northern teams to be a little more rough and tumble at times. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Nice little spin move, shot effort by Sydney Oniga. The goalie scoops it up. Nice defensive play there by the goalie. 2 minutes to go here in the quarter. And Sam Graff has the ball. She is one of their very best players. Low shot stopped by Lolo Rabadanera, the senior netminder. Earlier this week, she had her 400th save in her career here at Flagler, so she is the career leader. Caitlin Trainer keeps the ball. That was right at her head there. So green card on Ava Lambros. That'll be a minute. It is releasable. So the Golden Bears got a fresh 90 with 1 minute to go in the quarter. Let's see what they do here. It's 3-1 Flagler Saints. nice D there by Trainer. And Molly Sloan, number 12. That one was a nice pass and assist there. So the Bears score. Maddie Wagner with her 6th goal on the season, assisted by Olivia Eilbacher. Olivia has 8, that's her 9th assist rather on the season. She has 6 goals, so 15 points for her in 6 games so far. 3-2, 27.6 seconds left on the clock. That is enough time for a goal for either team, so you want to give it your all to exit the first quarter in good shape. Controlled by number 8, Sam Graff. She is going right to the cage, and she scores. So that took about 10 seconds. So we talked about that could happen. So that is her 21st goal on the season. She has 2 already of the 3 for the Bears. But again, we knew that she was their top scorer points-wise heading into the game. So we are all tied up with 16 seconds to go. That just got everyone on the edge of their seat a little bit. Graff and McGinnis at midfield again. Ella Pender scoops it up. And we'll see if the Saints try to get a shot off. It's 5 seconds to go here. Almost happened. But that will do it. So after the first quarter, we are knotted up at 3. We knew this was going to be a good game between a ranked opponent, and it has been so far. I think the draw controls might be 1 or 2 in favor of the Saints. I think the Saints might have had 1 or 2 more free position shots. We'll get some first quarter stats here for you in a moment. It's a good-sized crowd. The Flagler 50% of the field is jammed. There's quite a few folks in the north end zone, which is the tailgate pavilion. We'll call it something like that. So for the first quarter, the stats are, of course, 3-3. Sam Graff for Kutztown with 2 goals. Maddie Wagner with 1. Assist Olivia Eilbacher. Flagler, Ava Lambros with 1. Carly Teeple with 1. And Ella Pender with 1. 2 assists for Sydney Oniga. Both teams had 2 saves. Kutztown had 3 falls. Flagler had 1. Flagler had 3 turnovers to Kutztown. Flagler had 4. Kutztown had 3. Both teams cleared the ball 100%. 5 for 5 for Kutztown. 6 for 6 for Flagler. Free position shots. Kutztown 0 free shots for them. Flagler went 1 for 1. Draw controls. Flagler had a 4-3 advantage there, and Kutztown had a 4-3 advantage on the ground balls. The Saints shot 8 goals to Kutztown's 5. Now, in the last couple of years, the Saints have historically shot between 40 to 45 goals. Shots per game. Say about 11 shots per quarter. So 8's not too far off that mark. we would like to thank and tell you who today's officials are. Jerry Necht is the lead official, with Rita Georges and Xavier Ferguson joining him. Matt Green is the scorer. So we talk about growing the great game of lacrosse, and if you are a player of the game, we understand it's very attractive to get into coaching once you're done with your college years of playing the sport. But I think it's also really important to consider strongly becoming an official. We need, across college sports and high school sports, there's a great need for officials. And all the better if you have played the game. That, of course, gives you a good perspective on penalties. So here we are. The second quarter will be underway momentarily. And that is picked up by Greta McGinnis. Scoops it off this beautiful carpet here. She gets it knocked to the ground. That's a green card. So Sam Graff has one yellow card and one green card. We are getting close to St. Patrick's Day, but green cards are still bad. You still don't want those. Those are a minute to think things over. So here comes the Saints. They're now headed to the north goal for this quarter. Still the same starters, which of course makes sense. But they are a woman up. And you for sure want to cash in when you can with that advantage. 30 seconds to go now. Carly Lafieri will get the shooting space call. The Lowell, Mass Central Catholic High School product graduates in a couple months here. Shoots low, the goalie stops it. So just 10 seconds left on that green card. And here comes Kutztown on offense. So full strength. Ella Pender forces the turnover. Clock is running, just over 13 minutes to go here. And the unmistakable frenetic pace of Kaylin Trainer streaking down the far sideline. She's going to take a breather here. Just right up top. Wow. That's a seasoned veteran going up against a freshman, but Anna Campbell just she stepped out of bounds there. So that is a turnover for Kutztown. It happens when you have a senior playing a freshman. You know, that's some experience against a very good young player, but they can sometimes force the action. Still tied up at 3. 3 minutes gone here in the quarter. Some really good D there by Maddie Hartsock from New Hampshire. Flagler defense holding strong here. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Molly Sloan, as usual, stalwart defender. The ball comes loose, and it is scooped up by Carly Teeple. Here she comes. Base fall. She was running downhill, very determined. She, of course, they're going to do that one again. I thought, okay. Saints ball. 75 seconds on the clock. Jess Wright coming off injury earlier. She's gritty, repelling the efforts to the cage. Jess Wright goes in and is fouled as she attempted that shot. Jess has 5 goals and 3 assists. This is her 4th game so far this season. See if she shoots it here. She does. So, what was the call there? It is a goal after a little conference. So at the 9:57 mark, Jess Wright converts, gives the Saints the lead back. The officials talked it over. So her 6th goal in her 4th game of the season. So here we are back at the draw circle. 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. The Saints up by 1 against the Kutztown Golden Bears. Martha Halford jockeying for position, as is Barb Tucker. This one will be corralled by Sam Graff. It's nearly her 28th or 29th. Nice check there by Eva Stein to cause a turnover. And here comes number 1, the sophomore, Barb Tucker from Georgia. That is going to be a penalty. A yellow card on number 13, Alexis Plessick, a midi out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. It is a reset as well. So that was right in the middle of the field, and when you take a swing like that, they're going to call that most of the time. So Ella Pender will be at their straining line. The Saints have a 1-goal lead. Let's see if they can bump that back up to 2. Their largest lead was 2 at 3-1. Xavier Ferguson, the official, has to be nimble out there. He's in the mix. Still a minute 15 to go on the yellow card. That's at least a second yellow card for the Golden Bears, at least the third fall. They had a green card as well. And so statistically, the Saints should convert on this woman up possession. Sydney Oniga is going to earn a shooting space on that collision with number 2, Summer Davis, the junior from Beach Haven, New Jersey. Let's see what she elects to do here with 19 seconds on the shot clock. She pulls it out, and the Saints will try to get something a little better than what she had. The Golden Bears goalie has had a nice game. 36 seconds on the yellow card. I think we can expect the Golden Bears to run around a bit with this ball. There's 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. So that is her second goal. The last goal came on an unsettled transition play. So I think the lesson for the Saints there is they got to get back on D. That is a tough one for the goalie. So the goal comes at the 7:54 mark. It's tied now at 4. Sandgraf came in today's game with 19 goals. That is her second so far. Actually, her third. So she has a hat trick. So she has 3 of the 4 goals. So let's focus on number 8. Ball is up and controlled by Kutztown. I think maybe we'll see here what happens. Wow. Jen Seabach scoops it up. Draw control possession for the Saints. Jen Seabach doing Jen Seabach things. And now it's full strength. Number 13 comes out of the penalty box. The Saints have 75 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time to run their offense. Carly Cheeple comes barreling in, shoots and scores at the 7:17 mark. So it was tied for about 35 seconds. That's Carly's second goal on the night, and that was unassisted. But it also was assisted. This just in from Ava Lambros. Oh, all right. I apologize, folks. Ava Lambros with the goal. That is her second. I thought Carly had a hat trick. Maybe she still will. Maybe Ava will. She has 2. Carly has 2. Anything could happen. It's a Thursday here in mid-March, so it's 5-4. Ava Lambros coming off that Freshman of the Week performance in the Gulf South Conference Women's Lacrosse. She's got a nice head start for back-to-back weeks. Boxed out there. So that was ruled to be in Kutztown's favor. The draw is pretty even. Maybe Flagler 1 or 2 more. But, we talked a lot about how the Saints have played some very top-ranked teams. And as a result of that, we have a penalty on Flagler. So as a result, these teams have been some of the top draw control units in the division. A bouncer, good. Number 22, Madison Winner. That is her fourth goal. Her fifth goal on the season with no assists. So she has 5 points on the season to date. It's been a back and forth game here in just the last couple of minutes. 5-5, 6:46 to go in the quarter. So here is another draw course. Bryn Axe is the draw taker for Kutztown, McGinnis for Flagler. Number 26, Layla, is 5'11", and that's a good size. Ella Pinder is, I think, 5'9" or 10. So athletic, rangy team here for the Bears. Shot thwarted by Lolo. 67 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, I think that hit the pipe. And scooped up by Maddie Hartsock, the sophomore. Lolo wheels it out over to Jen Seabach to Trainer. You can bet the Ranch Trainer's getting it across midfield, and she does. So I think the Golden Bears are really good. Okay, here comes Trainer. She's no slouch to seeing an opportunity. She'll get a free shot out of this transaction. But you really see the Golden Bears boxing out like a basketball player on that draw circle. There's so many parallels between the sport of lacrosse and basketball. Boxing out, certainly one of them. Trainer kind of draws another shooting space foul. If it gets within 7 inches of her head, the opponent's stick, that's the magical sphere. You can't come in there. So Trainer will give it another shot. We'll see here. 60 seconds on the clock. She passes it out. And she'll jog out. Ava Lambros will come in for the offense. Here we go. Sidionica down low. Seeing what kind of cutters may be available. There's been more talk about helmets and women's lacrosse. Charlotte North, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, shot the ball 89 miles per hour. Ella Pinder zigging and zagging for her second goal tonight. No assist. So we have Ava with 2, Carly with 2, Ella with 2. So let's see, what does that do for Ella here on the season? She came in with 16 goals, is now at 18, so she has 23 points on the season. She's right up there with Sydney and Carly in terms of total points. The Saints are going with Mia Cosentino, the freshman, on the draw circle, mixing things up a little bit, as is Kutztown, I believe. Mia from Holly Springs, North Carolina. 6-5, 5:03 to go here in the second quarter. That was a frisky shot out there, and Ella Pinder comes away with it, and she's not stopping there, folks. Claudia Tanksley, the junior, number 20. Had the ball there briefly. Ava buries it. Unassisted. So she said, you know what? I want the hat trick. I mean, I'm sure she said I want to score and help the team. It turns out it's a hat trick. So Ava, coming off a 4-goal performance on Monday, tacks on 3 here in just the first half of this nationally ranked tilt that we have going. 7-5. This is where I would say she maybe gets tomorrow off. If she has some classes, they have spring break next week. Maybe someone could write her a note. Timeout, Golden Bears. So the way that Ella and Ava sliced through the Golden Bears defense, I think, is probably what is concerning the head coach, Kristen Nicholson. So Coach Nicholson, this is her 4th year at Kutztown. Entering this season, she was 32-25. Her lifetime record is 91-70. She is assisted by Tiffany Anderson and graduate assistant Jenna Blesson. It's also Coach Grant Kellum's 4th year here at Flagler. Of course, he started the program. It's their 4th year overall. And his record is really good. I had it written down, but it's he's had 2 17-win seasons. And I think the first year they went 11-8. So Coach is building quite a program here at Flagler College. He is assisted by Shelby Harrison, the star from Johns Hopkins. As we mentioned, Shelby is coaching for 2. She's expecting a lacrosse player in the summertime, a baby. And then we also have assistant coach and recruiting coordinator Chris Peterson, Coach P. If you see the Flagler sideline and synchronicity, cheering and hooting and hollering, there's a really good chance Coach P was the genesis of that excitement. He keeps the girls motivated. So Flagler has their largest lead again, a 2-goal lead. It's been a close game. 7-5, 4:35 to go. The defensive unit for the Saints is a little bit of the last one on the field. And we'll have Mia Cosentino and Bryn Axe going for possession here. And Mia comes up with it. Another draw control for the Saints. As we've said before, possession is 9/10 of the law, and it's really important in lacrosse too. So this is another green card. Illegal use of a stick. So I think it's at least 2 green cards and 2 yellows for the Golden Bears. So I think the Saints have been successful in profiting when they're women up most of the time. I think one time they didn't make it happen. Ella Pender averts a little disaster there. 36 seconds to go in the penalty. Sydney Oniga down low, shoots and scores. So now, Just Right assists Sydney Oniga. Sydney is very crafty down low. Reminds you of Tristan Usher from last season. Sydney came in with a baker's dozen goals. And she has 1 goal and 2 assists so far. That's the first assist for Just Right tonight. That is her 4th assist. So that makes it a 3-goal difference with 3:48 to go. So the Saints are consistently capitalizing on the woman up opportunities, which is easier said than done. Certainly statistically, I think the teams score more often than not when they're women up, but it's not by a large margin. So the ball is out, and wouldn't you know it, Carly LaFerriere, the senior, grabs it. Another draw control for the Saints, and this is an area where Kutztown typically has a lot of success, so it must be a little bit unusual for them not to have the ball as often as they're accustomed to. Ava Lambros testing the perimeter. Over to Claudia Tanksley, Claudette, they call her. It looks like they attempted a Twizzler or something there, and there's a foul. I think. No. So nothing happened there other than a turnover. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. 8-5 Flagler. Again, depending on what national poll you follow, Kutztown is about 10 spots higher. So the Saints are overperforming a bit. So that's Kaylin Trainer, just a tad too aggressive on that one. She is from New Jersey, you know. She's got a little Jersey toughness in her. I believe more from Delray Beach more recently. Shot wide by Layla, number 26. This is a hard shot. Two minutes to go here. 40 seconds on the shot clock for the Golden Bears. And Sam Graff with another goal. She did a couple of fakes and put it between Lolo's legs, I believe, a 5-hole goal. She's a talented scorer, you know. They're going to have to figure out how to play a little tighter D on Sam Graff. So I have her for at least a hat trick, maybe 4 goals. So she has 4 goals. I believe Kutztown will be over at St. Leo on Sunday to play the Lions. Maybe they rest her, you know. She's already got 4 goals. Take her out. Maybe not. They're probably not going to do that. Carly LaFerriere, again, another draw control. I think she might be leading that all time for the Saints. She and Ella Pender have dozens of those in their careers here. 8-6, 1:40 on the shot clock. I'm sorry, on the game clock. A full 73 or so on the shot clock. So the Saints will probably take this down close to the end of the half, I would imagine. But if something presents itself, I'm sure they'll pull the trigger. These teams have some solid defenders. That's Ava Lambros. Looks like she double dribbled in basketball, maybe a little stutter step, a Euro step or something like that, but she came up with the ball and got fouled. So let's see what she does with this. 33 seconds. She might pull it out or she might shoot. And she shoots. Knocked down, save there by the goalie. She went low. I think she kind of aimed low. You got to change planes a little bit, maybe try to confuse the goalie a little more. So the ball is loose. And Kutztown controls it with 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Saints playing some tough D on the ride here. Yes, Jen Seabach causes a turnover, scoops up the ground ball. 16 seconds to go in the half. She's going to flip it back to Lolo. They're probably going to take their sweet time on this one and let the clock expire. So that's, in fact, what will happen. Okay, so at the half, your Flagler Saints 8, the Golden Bears of Kutztown 6. We have a really good game here in St. Augustine. We're going to take a 10-minute halftime break, and we'll be back to see you then.
Stand up for my back's sake. Yeah, can you just run 2 to them and 2 over here? Yeah. Thank you very much. Excuse me, sir.
And we are back here for the second half of this tilt between Flagler and Kutztown. We'll go over some stats with you. Of course, the score is 6-8. Kutztown, Sam Graff leading all scorers with 4 goals. Madison Winter, 1. Maddie Wagner has one as well. Assist, Olivia Eilbacher. For Flagler, Ava Lambros, the freshman, with a hat trick. Ella Pinder with a couple goals. Sydney Onigo a goal. Jess Wright a goal. Carly Teeple with a goal. So well-balanced attack by the Saints. Draw control, Ella Pinder. Sydney Onigo with a couple assists. Jessica Wright with an assist. So the Saints outshot the Bears 18-11. Saints had 9 ground balls to the Bears 6. Draw controls 9-7 in favor of Flagler. Both teams cleared the ball successfully 10 out of 10 times. And Flagler went 2 out of 5 on free position shots. Kutztown went 1 for 1. There have been a number of penalties on Kutztown. Falls. They've had 10 falls, 7 in the second period to Flagler's 3. And they've had 8 turnovers to Flagler's 6 turnovers. A bouncer wide by Sydney Oniga. Jess Wright backs it up. 55 seconds to go in this possession. 8-6. Saints are working around. Here comes Sydney Oniga. Just right off the pipe, off the top, gets her own shot, rebounded, but bounces around, and the very capable Kutztown goalie, Marissa Bragg, a junior, has had a nice game. For the most part. I think the Saints are going to focus more on Sam Graff if I had to bet money. She had a very strong first half, as you would suspect just looking by the stats she's put up so far this season. A couple of those goals were in transition off draws. Those are always a little tougher, but a couple were not. So the Saints will have that top of mind on the defensive side of the ball. Nice save there by Lolo. It was a little 2-man game by the Bears. But Lolo, it's not her first rodeo. She is nice. She is known for her clears. She's like a Josh Allen throwing ropes to Ella Pinder at midfield. She's a great passer. So the Saints are back on offense. Plenty of time. I don't know what the coaches talked about, but I would imagine Kutztown would try to cut down on the penalties that hurt them with all those woman up opportunities. Speaking of, just a minor fault, but Ella has a free shot here from the little bit at the far side of the fan. She pulls out, does not shoot. She will get another free shot here. 41 seconds on the clock. Maybe she tries this one. We'll see. She pulls it out. Gives it to Carly Laffieri. Ava Lambros, determined, tries to take a shot. She was fouled in the act of shooting. She will, I don't know if that was a shot or is that deflected, but it ended up in the stick of Sam Graff. Number 8, here comes Kutztown. Number 22, in a very determined fashion, Madison Winter. So in the boys' game, that'd be called a ward. In the girls' game, that was maybe called giving her the business. But here comes Molly Sloan, number 12, on the turnover by the Bears. The offense will take a moment to get set up. Barb Tucker and Carly taking a break. Carly Alfieri. Martha is in. So 35 seconds on the shot clock. The Saints are going to want to dial something in. Just about 5 minutes gone here in the third. Barb Tucker with the ball. Dodging around, gives it to Sydney. Sydney has kind of a very distinctive crow hop move that she does. Kind of keeps them guessing. Ava was fouled there. I don't know if it's going to be it's not a card, but it is a free shot. Actually, she's on the 12 meter. So it is not a, well, she just passes it out. Probably a good choice there. Oh, there's not a lot of time left on the clock. She probably should have shot that one, actually. So that may be a tactical mistake. 5 seconds left. I don't know why you wouldn't shoot that one. They're calling a dangerous Papel. So a yellow card on Ava. That was deemed to be a dangerous Papel. It didn't seem that frightful to me, but the officials are much closer to the action, and they certainly know the rules better than I do. So with that, the Bears will have a woman up advantage for nearly 2 minutes. See what they do with it. Sam Graff, again, that's who you got to stop. There was a fair amount of halftime discussion about that, as there should be. Lolo with a nice save there. They're playing some strong D. Again, Layla, a 5'11" athlete, trying to make things difficult for Lolo, but Lolo zips it out there to number 9, Kaylin Figueres. Nice job by the senior. There is a minute. The penalty and the shot clock are just about the same. So I'm sure the Saints will take their time and take the best shot they can towards the end of this possession. Carly Bagnasco, the freshman, has been in a couple times now. She's in there as well. ball is up for grabs and shooting space is the call. 17 seconds to go for Flagler's yellow card, 20 seconds on the shot clock, but we'll see what the officials determine here. So they're jogging over with the call. Jerry Neck is the lead official, calling both coaches together. It's not readily apparent what they're talking about. Well, maybe we'll find out later. But the Saints have the ball. Ellipinder on the attack. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ellipinder gives it a shot. But that's a turnover there on time of possession. So here comes Kutztown. 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 8-6, 2-goal difference in this one. Close game, good game. Hope you're enjoying it. As a reminder, we'll be right back here in a couple of nights, 7 o'clock against UIndy, the Greyhounds. That is going to be a yellow on Jen Seabach. So the Saints had largely avoided penalties. That's a unreleasable 2-minute penalty. The unreleasable part means you do not get out for good behavior. And a full 90 seconds on the possession. That just seemed like some good old-fashioned good Jen Seabach defense, but she's going to sit down for a couple of minutes, take a break. All right. Now, Lolo stops that shot by Sam Graff. That's got to be a little confidence booster for a player that scored. Here's Jaden Hardy. Nice play by her. She comes out when there's a man down, women down for the Saints. So if it's a defender, Jaden comes out. If it's a midi, I believe Eliza Barton comes out. So there's a little rhyme and reason to the substitution pattern when we are down a player. So the third period, there's a little action in the front end, but it's been not a lot of scoring here in the last few minutes. But there's been some good defense, some long possessions, a few penalties. .20 seconds on the shot clock. Nice move there by Carly Teeple. Her pass into a potential assist there was knocked down, so that's a turnover. 20 seconds to go on the yellow card for Jen Seabach. And here comes Sandgraf. She passes it. Here comes Lila with a shot. They're going to give her a free shot. I'm sorry, Layla. I keep calling her Lila. Layla Elbu Azowi. Layla, sorry. That is her 20th goal. I'm sorry, her 19th goal on the season. She has the second most points on the team, right behind Sam Graff. So in some ways, it's probably good that they kept her until scoring until 10 minutes deep into the third quarter. But it does not the score up, but it gets it a little closer, 8-7. The largest lead Flagler had with 8-5. So McGinnis back in at the draw circle for the Saints, going up against Bryn Axe again, a couple of juniors. .447 to go. That ball bounces around but ends up in the stick of Madison Winner. So looks like the draw controls could be about even at this stage of the ball game. Maybe a slight advantage for the Saints. It's even strength. The lights are on and brightening. Sun is setting here in St. Augustine. It's a nice move by number 5, Sophie Engelhardt, but she shot it right into Lolo's stick. And Lolo is pretty good at catching those. Molly Sloan flips it back to Jen Seebach. A little more pressure by the Bears on the ride. Again, with a change in the rules, you don't see as much. Lolo with a dime down to freshman Carly Bagnasco. Eva Stein takes care of business there. 50 seconds now. That took a full 30 seconds. Some bodies are down. No one's hurt, I don't think. Okay, it is a free shot for Jess Wright. 47 seconds on the clock. We'll see what she does here. She goes to shoot it and was fouled once again. This happened in Monday's game. She had a couple free shots back to back where there was a fair amount of physicality. Buries it in the far corner on the right side. Saints needed that. They had worked hard in the last few possessions, and it gets it back to a 2-goal lead. And so for Jess Wright, that is her first goal tonight. Nice job, Jess. Unassisted, of course. The 316 mark. Just came in with 5 goals and 3 assists. You know what? That's her second goal tonight, and she has 1 assist. When they start scoring 9 goals, you know, it takes a little AI to keep pace with that. 3:16 to go here in the third. A very good game. 2 good teams. Halfway through the season for the Saints, more or less. The regular season, I should specify. Ella Pinder comes up with that one. They are really, bodies are colliding. They're like protons or electrons or something out there at the mid-circle. We thought there was a whistle. There was not, or at least I thought that. The Saints are taking their time to 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Here comes Sydney Anaga. Unassisted. That is one of her trademark moves. It's a low roller under the radar and in for the 10th goal tonight for the Saints. That is a hat trick for Sydney. Is that a hat trick for Sydney? Okay, that's my bad. It is not a hat trick, but she's one goal away from a hat trick. I think she has a couple assists. So she's got 4 points on the night, which is terrific. And again, I think that was a really helpful. The Saints now scored the last 2 goals. That gets them pretty excited. Coach P has got the defense hyped up over there. Coach Grant Kellum typically and Shelby Harrison do more of the discussion with the offense. That is what Shelby did so well at Johns Hopkins. Actually, Coach Kellum and Coach Nicholson are talking once again with the officials. We really don't know what they're talking about, but I would have to imagine it's just how the game is being officiated to some degree. Most of the officials here at Flagler, I believe, are from the state of Florida. So you have a team from Pennsylvania that might be used to some officials up there. Maybe it's a little bit different. I don't know. It's human nature. They could be talking about, restaurant recommendations. They don't know that Kutztown's going to be here in Florida. They play over at St. Leo on Sunday. St. Leo, of course, is ranked, so I give those northern teams a lot of credit. It's always fun to come down to Florida for a few days, get some sun, warm up, but you're also playing some top talent, top-rated teams here in the state of Florida in Division II women's lacrosse. Of course, some of our Florida teams go up to UIndy, and Tampa, I think, played Pace and Adelphi last season, so it's a bit of a two-way street, but it's more north to south, as you can imagine. So here we go, 2:53 to go in the third period. Ball is up, and Layla comes up with it. She's 5'11", McGinnis is 6 feet. That's some tall athletes there, student athletes. So let's see what Kutztown does with this possession. They haven't had the ball a whole lot this quarter. They're making some moves. The offense is keeping their feet moving for the most part. Sam Graff with the ball. But they repelled her, which is good because she's probably their most dangerous player. Shot off the pipe, top pipe, bounces out, and let's see here. Oh, let's see who has it. Okay. Kutztown. Maddie Wagner comes up with it. Sophomore attacker from Ocean City, New Jersey. 50 seconds on the shot clock. Shot right into Lolo's stick. I certainly want to give Lolo credit for the save, but she didn't have to do anything. That's good for her. Here comes Eva Stein, number 21. Boom, just knocked down. That's going to be a yellow card. Number 6, Bianca Falcone, a freshman defender from Easton, Pennsylvania. I think that's the home of Lafayette College as well. It's unreleasable per official Jerry Neck, the head official for today's game. So 1 minute, 12 seconds to go here in the game. There's a full, not in the game, sorry, the third quarter. There's a full moon. We're looking right at it here at midfield. Hopefully there's some lunar influence on Trainer's possession here. So the yellow card will be unreleasable. So for the rest of this quarter, the Saints will be woman up. Maddie Hartsock with the ball now. The Golden Bears are playing some good defense, even though they're down a woman. It's a sign of a well-coached team. So again, Saints likely to shoot the ball a little bit later in this possession towards the end of the quarter. 40 seconds now to go in the quarter. Ava Lambros. That was a pass attempt that was deflected by the Kutztown. Well, they're calling that an infraction. Coach Kellum will say, let's take a timeout. So if you hear the air horn, that doesn't mean tornado. It means timeout. 36 and a half seconds to go in this game. As you may recall, before halftime, there was 26.7 seconds on the clock, and Sam Graff ran all the way down and scored in 10 seconds. So you can't take the waning moments of any given period for granted. Both teams are trying hard. They're both ranked. They are going to try to capitalize on anything they can, of course. So once again, a nice crowd here. See if we can't get a score from the U-Indy. I'm sorry, U-Indy already played Tampa. Oh, Alabama, Huntsville, Florida Southern was a game that's happened, that's been going on now for 37 minutes. I don't know that anyone's tweeted about that one just yet. If we figure it out, we'll let you know. But that's obviously an arch rival of Flagler in the Gulf South Conference for women's lacrosse. Alabama, Huntsville. The Chargers. And of course, Florida Southern is a team that Flagler has a short history with, but a pretty intense history. A lot of close games. The Mocs have come out on top for most of them, but some really interesting games over the last couple, 3 years. So 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Carly Lafieri with the ball. She's on Old Moultrie Road practically. They might, okay, I think they're just going to hold it so they can have the ball in the next quarter. So that's the instructions from the sideline. And unfortunately, okay, they're calling a fall. Or not, okay. So it's a reset, and I don't know, I think the Saints get the ball back, but that's why the Flagler bench, Coach Kellum, was saying hold it, because they'll get the fresh 90, and there's still 48 seconds to go in the unreleasable yellow card for the Golden Bears. But the ball did come loose in the last couple of moments of the quarter, so I don't know exactly. We'll see. this intermission will be over in 90 seconds. So let's review some stats from the third quarter. The score 10-7. Flagler scored a couple of times in that period to 1 goal for Kutztown. Sam Graff again leading all scorers with 4. Shots by the period 7-6 in favor of Kutztown, 4-1 in favor of Kutztown for the ground balls. Draws were even at 2-2. Flagler leading in the draw controls 11-9. Again, both teams were 100% successful in their clears. Kutztown 15 of 15, Flagler 16 of 16. The free shots 2 of 2 for Kutztown, Flagler 3 of 8. And again, when you see that 3 of 8 number, keep in mind they pull the ball out a few times to just get a better shot. So I guess they're going to draw this one. Yeah. Yeah, it was that loose ball that we were talking about. So that's how that one played out. Lolo had 5 saves in the third period, bringing her total to 8. That's a pretty good quarter's work for the senior from Pinnacle, Arizona, Pinnacle High School in Phoenix, Arizona, I should say. Wow, Kutztown had 10 falls to Flagler's 2 in that quarter. My guess is that's what they were talking about. So, okay. So they are going to draw this one. Three-goal difference, 10-7, entering into the last quarter of play here at Flagler Lacrosse Field in St. Augustine. It's controlled by Kutztown, Layla. They're calling a timeout. So Coach Nicholson calls a timeout. Maybe they're going to review what they just talked about 10 seconds ago. I don't know. But they want to talk about it. So when we talk about the falls that Kutztown had, they had 10 in the third quarter. Flagler had 2. But Kutztown has 20 falls so far this game to Flagler's 5. The turnover battle is the same. Flagler had 3 last quarter to Kutztown's 1. So statistically, things are pretty close, really close in fact. Flagler is getting off more shots, 24 shots to 18. But we were expecting a close game between these nationally ranked Division II programs, and that is in fact what we're getting. Coach B changing some defensive positioning, and we are back underway here, just underway in the fourth quarter. So they are more or less face guarding Sam Graff, that assignment to Kaylin Figueres. So the other offensive players getting a lot of activity with Sam Graff kind of out of the picture a little bit. So now they are full strength. The yellow card is expired. There's 30 seconds to go on the shot clock for Kutztown. Sandgraf getting loose, cutting. She's closely marked. Shot wide. Play resumes. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Barb Tucker playing some D down there. No, I'm sorry. Maddie Hartsock. That shot was wide. So nice defense by Maddie Hartsock. Forces the wide shot. Gets the turnover. Probably a bit of a demoralizing possession for Kutztown. They called that timeout. There was a lot of strategery with the yellow card. And it all for naught. Sandgraf playing some close, tough D on Trainer. Lolo with the ball. Someone needs to move around for the Saints to get open. And Maddie Hartsock will do the honors of getting it down past the restraining line. Flips it over to Ella Pender. So nice defense there by the Saints. I'm sure if you're Kutztown, you wanted to get back on the board. You're down 3 heading in the last quarter. But that's not how it worked out this trip down the field for them. So the Saints have 40 seconds. So it took them a while to get it across. And most of their shots this season have been with fewer than 30 seconds to go in any given shot clock, which is a way to control the pace of the game. Coach Kellum talked about that in his remarks last game. So we didn't get a shot off there. That's not ideal. So Coach Kellum talked about the keys to the win being the 1v1 matchups. They are expecting the man defense, and they've seen a bit of that. Coach talked about, it's a great opportunity for these teams to come down to Florida and get some good competition before they start conference play, and that's exactly what Kutztown is doing. After they play St. Leo, they have 5 consecutive PSAC conference games on the docket. And then after the Saints play UIndy, they have 2 more non-conference games before they begin the Gulf South Conference play in earnest to wrap up the season with 4 games. So believe it or not, we find ourselves in mid-March, the regular season, half over. Now that was off of Lolo. Hit Lolo in the torso area. She scoops it up, and here comes Kaylin Figueroa. Sorry. Figueres, sorry about that. Figgy. So now, almost 5 minutes, a third of the quarter have gone by. Both teams have been playing some tighter defense. This shot on the outside of the goal there by Ava Lambros. She had a little heat on that. The Saints are applying a little more pressure on the ride. Carly Teeple. And here, Claudette, Claudia Tanksley. Kaylin Figueres playing some nice D. They're going to try to make everyone but Sandgraf beat them. Not a bad strategy considering the first half that she had. Eva Stein called for kind of a check. Hard shot. Again, though, right at Lolo's sternum. So high to high, not what you want to do. And now the Saints have the ball. Ella Pender. It looked like they might have wanted to fast break it a little bit there, but no. They have a 3-goal lead. 8.5 minutes to go in the game. They're going to be deliberate and get the best shot opportunity they can. Now, last time the shot clock ran out. They didn't get a shot off. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. I think you got to shoot those, though. Nice. An assist. Bang, bang play. That was like box lacrosse there. That was a nice assist there by Anna Campbell. Carly Teeple. Is that her second goal, Carly Teeple? We believe that's her second goal. So that's 8 goals this week for her. It's not a bad week. So 4-goal lead, the largest of the night under a beautiful full moon. $8:15 to go in the game. An all-around solid performance by the Saints tonight. Every part of the game has been solid. Layla controls that one for Kutztown. McGinnis with the ride. They don't have the ball across just yet. Playing some defense there. And now they do have it past the restraining line. But that took them 35 seconds. I'm sorry. Coach P's voice is going. It's Layla with the ball, moving around, trying to create some opportunities. She's a tall player, and that was a nice assist to number 22, I think. So Sophie Engelhart with the goal, and it was assisted by Layla. Yeah, because she's that tall player. She's it was like a little skip zone pass. Layla Elbu Azui. She's got good field vision. So that's like her 6th assist on the season. And I think the 9th goal for Sophie. So the Kutztown has controlled the draw. It's 7 minutes to go in the game. It's now 11-8. And that's going to be probably a shooting space opportunity. I believe that's Summer Davis. A bouncer goes in. Oh, that was Sam Graff. So that's her 5th goal tonight, unassisted, of course. They've had luck with bouncers. I think that's the 2nd bouncer, maybe the 3rd, to go by Lolo. Now, Golden Bears have scored the last 2 goals. Saints were up by 4, now they're up by 2. The momentum has shifted a bit. Just under 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. So Mia Cosentino will be going against Leila El Bouazoui. The Golden Bears bench is a little more animated, as you would imagine, by a couple goals here in the fourth quarter. Ball's up for grabs, and the Golden Bears come up with it. That was hotly contested. It will be really important for the Saints to have a stop here on this possession. 6.5 minutes to go, 70 seconds on the shot clock. Looks like they're setting like an ISO play maybe for a cutter, but then they're wrapping around there. Errant shot, and I think Lolo backed it home. Wow, I thought Lolo went it back there. They have a player down, does Kutztown.
That was clearly goalie ball.
Coach Kellum thought Lolo was back there, so the player down is a little more serious when the trainer jogs out. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. There's 6:03 in the game, 50 seconds on the shot clock. It's very likely going to be the Kutztown possession. Kutztown is about 40-50 minutes almost due north of Westchester, a very good team from the Atlantic region of Division II. They're often very highly ranked and are once again this year. Puts them maybe about 90 minutes away from Philly to the northwest. Not too far from Allentown. Exactly clear what happened with all the cutters, maybe a collision. And she is up on her own 2 feet. Number 18, Lauren Lamorte, a sophomore attacker from Long Island, West Islip. So that's some of that Strong Island toughness. She's jogging off. Hope she's going to be all right. Her teammates are happy to see her out there, back on her own 2 feet. So, as much as it seemed that Lolo had got back there, the officials didn't see it that way. And it will be Kutztown's ball. 9-7, 2-goal difference. Here comes Sam Graff. She stepped in the crease. So, Saints fans breathe a sigh of relief there. That was getting pretty intense. But it ain't over yet. Here comes Kaylin Trainer. If this was the NFL Combine, you're doing pretty good. And we'd also be in Indianapolis. In a dome. 65 seconds to go in this possession. There haven't been any penalties for a while, so that's good. Yellow cards, green cards, I should say. Ella Pinder got a little check there. She is tough. She is a tough player. She comes from the eastern shore of Maryland. some pretty strong folks from there. So Ava Lambros fouled as she was cutting to the cage. I don't think she's going to shoot this one. 42 seconds. She does not. Goes up top. Carly Lafieri tries to see if she can throw a ball in there. Thank goodness Carly Teeple comes up with it, number 7, the junior. They have been guarding her very closely, as you can imagine. I'm sure she's talked about as any team prepares to play the Saints. Shot, hard shot there, backed up by the Saints. Oh, nice pass in the, oh, geez. A little bit of a yard sale there. It looks like Carly Teeple caught one to the head, but was not called. So here come the Bears. Just over 4 minutes to go in this one. Layla with the ball, throwing down low. Remember, she has that good field vision. Some good IQ as well. Really nice defense down there by Carly and Molly. Rayner. $50 seconds on the shot clock. They're doing a great job of keeping away from those little wraparound goals. And that was a Twizzler effort there by Layla. But it was wide, backed up by Kutztown. The ball is up for grabs here, and it looks like Carly Claudette Tanksley scoops it up. A huge turnover. Wow. Anna Campbell taking a hit there, but she's back up, not deterred. The Saints have the ball down low, 2:49 to go. 75 seconds. They're going to take 74 and a half seconds on this one. That was huge. That was a huge turnover because the momentum had shifted, and boom, Carly Teeple takes a shot. Nice save there. I was wrong about the 74 and a half second thing. The Bears have it now, 2:20 to go in the game. They're clearing it out of bounds. That's a killer. That's a dagger. If they were going to tie this thing up, that was a critical possession. 2 minutes exactly right now left in the game. Carly getting roughed up there a little bit. You can hear the sticks hitting each other. Calling out a play. Called Syracuse. Probably shouldn't say that. They get the tape. They can see it. 1:30 to go. 47 seconds on the shot clock. This is an exciting fourth quarter, and there's a timeout. It was the first failed clear of the game, happening this late in the fourth quarter. Two talented nationally ranked teams. And you know, we have said the word nationally ranked a bunch tonight, but you cannot take that for granted. There's, I think, over 100 Division II women's lacrosse teams. A lot of them. Let's see, there's the South region, there's 38 teams. The Atlantic region, there's 25. The East region, I think, only has 18. The Midwest has something like, it's over 100. And your Flagler Saints have been in the top 20, the top 10 a lot. They're off to a little slower start this season. If they win tonight, they'll be 4-4, heading into a tough test against UIndy. But, Coach Kellum has constructed a schedule that will prepare them well for the postseason because this year the winner of the Gulf South Conference will have an automatic qualifier, an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Before, the Saints had to go 17-1, 17-2, win a lot of games in region against tough teams. Of course, that always helps to win 17 games. That's really good. So, but Kutztown is they're from a tough division, a tough conference. So it's a treat to see this quality Division II women's lacrosse game. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's 1 minute and 28 seconds left of it, which is like the NBA. This could take a half hour. Actually, I don't know if everyone's out of their timeouts, but 45 seconds on the shot clock. We'll see what they drew up. Coach Kellum is an offensive-minded coach. Ava Lambros has had the ball. Anna Campbell scoops it up. Again, these freshmen are getting some very, very valuable experience. There's a turnover there, scooped up by 28. Yep, by 28. Gives it to the goalie, and now Sam Graff has the ball. She is going to look to shoot. I would bet money on it. She does. A bouncer. Lolo deflects it. She is probably charged. I think she's charged. Oh, they're calling a check. They're calling a check on Eva Stein. She was moving pretty fast. 43.4 seconds to go. Free shot by their most talented scorer. That's our third yellow card. I think once you have 4 or more, they're unreleasable. She scores. So they convert on the free possession shot. 41 seconds to go in the game. It's a 1-goal lead for the Saints. Needless to say, this is a very important draw control. So Mia Cosentino, the freshman, will take it for the Saints. She'll go up against the junior, Layla El-Gouazoui, who has a ton of draw control so far this season for the Golden Bears. See what happens here. 41 seconds to go, folks. It's up, and it is in the very capable stick. And after a lot of excitement, the Saints retain possession with under 30 seconds to go. That was a nail biter. Okay, so the clock is running. And the Saints will just run it out. They're going to win this one, I would imagine. Ella Pender will just run around with it, try not to get... Yes, and that is it, fans. Flagler Saints 11, the Kutztown Golden Bears 10. A great night of lacrosse here at Flagler Lacrosse Field in St. Augustine. We'll see you back here in a couple of nights for the Saints game against the UIndy Greyhounds. UIndy is a top-ranked, top 10 team. So thanks for tuning in this evening. Have a great night.